Hey friends, welcome back to Pastors' Wives Tell All. All month long, we are interviewing some of our close friends, so you can see that as pastors' wives, you can have friends too. Get ready for fun, laughter, maybe some tears along the way, and enjoy these conversations. Let's get to it.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Jenna.
And I'm Stephanie.
And you are listening to Pastors' Wives Tell All,
A podcast by pastors' wives for church leaders and anyone desiring to take a peek inside our glass house.
We are breaking down walls and crushing pastors' wives stereotypes within the church.
We want pastors' wives and other ministry leaders to know that they are not alone in this. Plus, this is basically therapy for the three of us with a whole lot of dance parties. Whoop,
Hello, and welcome back to Pastors' Wives Tell All. We have our friend KitKat Daddy Mac.
KitKat, a.k.a. Katherine.
Yes, my real name.
That's your real name.
Guys, so we have been doing a full month of episodes about friendship within the church, and you have met some of our friends within our four walls of our churches. But today we have a special guest that is all of our friends.
Yes.
She's
the best.
Katherine. It is Katherine. And we love
It
her
is
so
she.
much. And she's so nervous. But we decided that we're going to check to make sure she's okay and she's all here. So, Katherine, can you spell your name for us?
Do it.
The real one?
The real name. Yes.
Oh, she's already doing good. She has so many names.
Great. Yes, it's Katherine spelled all different ways. So mine is Katherine.
Okay,
There you go.
She's here. She's ready. Okay, so Katherine,
got
can
it.
you tell everyone who you are before we start to kind of dive into friendship? Tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Katherine, and I am nervous. I've been kind of nervous peeing all morning, but I love my friends, so I'm here.
She is our people.
I'm Katherine, and I'm a single mom of 3 kids. They are 15, 13, and 10. And I, about a year and a half ago, 2.5 years ago, it's been a while, moved over here to where these girls live and have loved every minute of that because we're all like within just a few minutes of each other and our kids are all friends. And I've just really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's been so cool. She has joined what shape is it that we all drive?
I don't know. I feel like it might be a triangle.
I feel like it's like a
More of a
trapezoid.
triangle than
trapezoid.
Okay, well, let's just call it a trapezoid.
It feels right.
I'll go with the trapezoid. We trapped her into
That's
our
right.
zoid we live in. There you go.
We totally did.
It's okay. We're not letting her go now. So
That's right.
One more thing. Since we're going to talk about friendship today, can you just define what you think true adult friendship is?
Sure. I have been through a lot with friendships. So I think finding these girls and real friendships has been life-changing for me and sort of redefined friendship for me. And it's so much about just being fully free in who God made you to be, not holding back, not hiding away, not keeping things secret, but just being fully and freely you, even when that's weird. And even when it's silly, and even when other people don't get it, even when other people don't get even your journey or your story, and just believing the best in one another and being there for each other through every high and low that you face.
Why does that make me a little emotional? Like hearing her say that, I was like, oh my gosh, I love y'all.
Oh, I know. I love y'all so much.
I know. I felt that definition right here. I felt it in this little space right here.
Oh.
She's pointing to her heart. If you are not watching on YouTube, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jenna. For
I just wanted to make
letting
sure
the
they knew
people
which
know.
space
It
you were
could've been
talking
her
about.
bowels. You know, you never know.
So
I mean, I also love you there.
Nope.
But that's weird. So we're going to carry on with this conversation.
It needs to be a
Please.
t-shirt. I love you in my bowels.
Listen, I think there's a lot of T-shirts that we could make,
Yes.
specifically off of Jessica's dictionary list.
Oh, yeah.
Please,
Oh my
yes.
gosh, can we please? Anyway,
You're welcome. Okay. So, KitKat, let's talk a bit about how we all met each other. Well, I say met each other, how you met each of us, which was at different times and in different ways. And then how long have each of us been friends with you?
Sure. So Jessica I have known the longest, and we actually always joke and say we can't believe we didn't know each other even before, because we did so many of the same sports at the same times, and how did we not ever cross paths? We don't know, but God brought us together right when He knew we needed each other.
You would have been scared of me if it was earlier on.
That might be
I
true.
also would have. So I feel that.
I would have been scared, but I would have sucked up to you. I've been like, she gonna like me.
At least you're honest.
Don't like me.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
So Jessica and I met through a mutual friend, and sort of just hit it off and talked a lot about Africa from the get-go. And that was a huge part of my heart. Not that I'd ever been, but God had laid it on my heart years before. So meeting Jessica just felt like, whoa, God really put her in my life for a reason, I think. And little did I know all that was to come and all that she would walk me through and all of that. But so how long ago was that? I mean,
I would say like,
my kids were little bitty.
when was
So,
McKinley born?
2009?
I would say maybe like 11, 12? No, 12, 13.
Yeah, 12, 13 years.
2012.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. And then I'll go with Jenna because I knew her the second longest. I actually went to college with her now husband. And we sort of crossed paths a little bit then, but didn't get to know each other well at that point.
Yeah, in ministry spaces, mostly I think is how we
Yeah.
cross paths. Also, you have my old plates. Random
do.
fact. My old plates that we used to have in our old apartment. They're in your cabinets at your house. So anytime I open the cabinets, I'm like, oh,
It's the
A little
sister.
bit
blast from
Jenna.
the past.
It's the sisterhood of traveling plates.
Oh my heavens! There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Love it. That's perfect.
Yep.
But she and I didn't get close until probably after my divorce and all that, after I kind of moved over here and stuff. And then Stephanie,
Stephanie.
Stephanie,
I think she forgot about me for a second.
No, I didn't.
Stephanie.
No, I remember exactly the exact spot I met you at the movie theater for Jessica's birthday. Oh boy, y'all had
Oh,
started.
that was a fun night.
Oh, that was a doozy.
We won't talk about that.
Sounds like
Anyway.
a good spill the tea episode. I'm just saying.
Yep, let's not.
You're right.
She said no. But they had already started Pastors' Wives. And so I knew who she was. I'd been seeing their stuff. And so when I met her, I like sort of low key felt like I was meeting a celebrity. And I was like, it's one of those things like, I know you and you don't know me. And I think you're super cool, but hi.
So hard because I was so nervous that night.
So was I. And then we hit it off quickly. Yeah. And especially at Jessica's birthday party where we all went camping in a camper, just the girls, and got to know her better. And
That was so fun.
God just like united our hearts so quickly, I feel like.
So I want to know, like, when did you feel like you could like really trust us? Like, was there like a specific time or place that you can remember, or like a story that sticks out to you?
Or it could be like different stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I would say, I think because I met so many of them kind of through or after the divorce, I had faced a lot of rejection through that. I think that can be sadly common in the church. And so, and it was very, very common amongst my friendships, just faced a lot of misunderstanding, betrayal, all of that. And when I met them, I think I would just sort of test the waters a little bit, just throw out a little fact about me or a little something, but sort of feeling like I got nothing to lose at this point. Like I can't even fake anything anymore. I was just in such a low place. It's like, I just have to just be who I am. And I would, like I say, just throw out a few little things about me here and there and just sort of wait for the rejection, wait for the rolling of the eyes or the like, judgy, that sort of thing. But it's like every time I would put something else out there, it was received with like loving, careful hands. And so I just was able to start sharing more and more until I felt fully and totally safe with them.
Well, now I'm going to cry.
Also, I remember when you and I were walking through everything with the divorce. I remember when we decided to do the beach trip. And I remember at that beach trip when you and I were doing your hair one morning, or you were doing your hair and I was talking, like how you were saying, man, it's so nice that I feel like I am completely being able to open up and be myself and say things that I normally wouldn't say. So like I remember that instance of you going like, I feel like I can trust them in that moment. Like I just like remember you like coming to the realization that, oh, I can like be myself. And oh man, like for the first time, we're doing things that I actually love because I know in the past you had good friends, but a lot of times you would kind of lean in and do things because they wanted to. And a lot of times you weren't doing things that you love to do. And so I think that's also really cool when your hobbies and things that you enjoy kind of collide with these spiritual connections with friendship, which I think makes it even more fruitful.
Yeah. I think we all saw you just like walking in freedom on that beach trip. Like I can just remember a shift in you while we were there.
She even wore a
was
two-piece
really cool.
for the first time.
I know.
Oh, I do remember you talking about that.
She got while she wore two-piece.
It was, I mean, they had a skirt on it, but it was still a two-piece.
She was so cute in her skirt.
And she felt like complete freedom. Like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And not be judged.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I found things that I didn't even know I was missing. Like I didn't know I wasn't being fully me. I didn't know I was being so guarded and having to be so careful with every word and every action and everything, you know. And so to just let loose, I was like, oh, I didn't know I wasn't loose. That might not be the right way to say that, but I didn't know I wasn't being fully me and fully free until I could be. And then I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So since we're talking about, we just talked a little bit about the beach trip. So can you share, and we can also share as well, but Katherine, you start. Was there like a moment in our friendship that you remember that was just so fun, so freeing, or you laughed harder than ever and you peed all in your pants or something like that? Like just a memory that sticks out. I know there's a lot of them, but like, let's talk and break from the serious and talk about, or it could be serious. You could have like a moment that you're like, man, this really was like one of my favorite moments.
It is really hard to nail down one moment of laughter or fun or freedom because there's so much of that it is really hard to narrow it down. I think one of the things that sticks out to me the most, I don't know that it would be necessarily my freedom and that kind of thing, but just of everyone just getting to see everyone be fully themselves. And seeing that in Stephanie when we went camping for the first time, and knowing how long Isaac would have loved for her to have been camping, and somehow we talked her into it, and just how poorly that went for her at times.
It's fine.
Please just tell a little bit of it.
Okay,
A moment.
I feel like it might have been on a spill the tea or something already,
okay.
but
We have new
but
people.
just her like not being as excited about camping and having to walk back from the bathroom by herself at night in the rain and then into the dark wagon that we were staying in.
Dark wagon.
And her just busting it and just hurting herself, which I didn't like that
whole
part,
thing.
obviously. It was a whole thing though. And just being like, and her being like, this is why. This is why I didn't want to go camping. And just, I don't know, just everybody getting to own who they are. And no matter how silly that is. And I think all of our camping adventures really stick out. Just hunting gators. I mean, just recently here.
Oh, yeah.
What was our name?
The Gator Getters?
The Gator
Getters.
Gator Getters.
Another t-shirt in the making.
So many. Why haven't we started a shop?
I don't know.
Can I tell a
What
favorite
would we call
memory with Katherine? First of all, KitKat, if you have not ever been around her and heard her start laughing,
Oh my gosh.
she will start laughing and then she can't stop. Like, she's done. Which then spurs everybody else to start laughing.
So true.
And it's just this chuckle, and it brings so much joy. So that's one of my favorite things about you. But I remember one of the most memorable times that I think I have of you is the first time we ever spoke at a conference. When we went to the She Speaks conference, you came and were basically like I wanted to call you like our manager. You're not our manager, but like you were like our cheerleader. Like you came along with us. You like steamed our pajamas for us
Steve's pajamas.
because we spoke on stage in
I was
pajamas.
about to say, in case they're wondering.
Yes, that's what we spoke in, was our pajamas.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
She steamed them for us while we were like going over the agenda for the evening and practicing, which was pretty funny also because we were trying to do this whole thing in our little hotel room. but we were just all laughing, and she was just there to support us, and ended up getting so much out of it herself. She's always been our biggest cheerleader. Like, there's not a time that we go out of town to do something ministry related and she doesn't text us.
Yeah.
You literally text us these sweetest, most encouraging prayers, and you just don't see that often, you know? And so you're such a good friend.
I think that's like a true friend is when a friend can see someone like having a moment and not be jealous and not go poor me, but like elevate their friends even more to encouragement and to prayer. And I think that's like true. That's a mark
100%.
of a true friend is to truly go, I am so happy for y'all. And like, I will do anything to serve with y'all or anything when I'm back at home.
And it's so genuine.
praying, and it's just genuine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that, Jenna.
I always love sharing everything with you, Catherine, because, and these girls can attest to that, because I do. I feel like you're not being like, oh gosh, here we go. We're talking about the pastor's wife thing, or we're talking about the book or whatever. But you're just honestly so excited to like be on the journey with us, which makes me so happy. And can I just say, some of my favorite memories are just the sleepovers we've had at your house. I think we've had two.
I think just
those
one.
have
Was
been
it just
great.
one?
We should have.
We've had a
another
lot
one.
of late nights. Yeah. That, well, it was okay. It was for my birthday. I remember now. Yes. The sleepover. And it was so much fun. I mean, we did things I have never done before.
Should we put a poll in this episode and have people guess what we did?
Yes,
please.
That would be great.
Because I bet they're wondering right now. They're like, wait, what did
What
we
is
do?
she talking about?
bad
But it was
things.
like
Not bad things.
Yeah.
But just the fun that we've had and the karaoke times and just all of it, and just laughing hysterically at each other. Like, I have never laughed so hard in all my life as I do with the four of us.
I
Like,
know.
Oh, for sure.
Well, since we're all going funny, I'll go serious. So, just to add a little like flavor into it. But it's true. Like, Catherine's testimony. It's one day we'll be able to be told in full. Hopefully, maybe on this podcast, maybe not. But I would say like the cool thing is, since I have been with her for so long, seeing who she was before, and then seeing who she is now. And then being there for the moments of her opening up and sharing what was going on in her life, and to walk with her and see the horrible moments of like really bad valleys and then mountaintops, but to see how strong she got. She loves the Lord. She abides in him and she seeks him and wants to do the best. And I will say that she's been through a lot with churches. She's had a lot of horrible things happen with pastors, like we've talked about before. Pastors really just downing her and being down on evil. And they will have to answer to that one day.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. But like I think that one of the biggest things is I've seen you grow, where you could have cowered and you could have not stood up for yourself, and you could have just stayed in whatever you were in, but you knew that God had better for you. And to see you slowly grow, and then you'd have a couple of steps back and then grow. And so like just stamina, like perseverance. And we've all got to watch that on this end of just seeing you now thriving. And it's not perfect, guys, but she's persevering. And so it's just super cool to see. I would just say how much she's grown spiritually through it, and just been such a good mom. And, I don't know, it's been really cool to watch.
It has been. You made me think of something else too, just as you're talking and talking about serious things. I will say that one thing that makes Catherine a really cool friend, and I think we would all attest to this, is that she's very good at listening and then seeing both sides of any situation. So I know that if I want to go to her and get like perspective of, okay, this is what I'm feeling, but this is also what's happening. Like, she will give me perspective from each side and say, okay, but I also think of this, but I also can see this. And it just makes me think. And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't think of that. And I just know that I can trust her for honesty, but it to be very gentle, but also
Super
to be
gentle.
very, but honest, like I don't know. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
It's been cool.
Oh, the sweetest. And one thing that I've seen the Lord do in me is when I was younger, when I was a kid, everyone called me Giggles. Like that was sort of my nickname because I would laugh sometimes at the wrong times. And like once I start, I can't stop and that kind of thing. And I went through probably decades where I kind of lost that. And it might happen once in a blue moon, but I just lost that like joy. That laughter, that inside of me. And so now seeing it come back and having it happen so often, almost every time we're together, that happens. And so it's like God just brought me full circle, brought me back to healing and to safety and to sweet, sweet friendships that are so from Him.
Yeah.
So cool.
Okay, so KitKat, we've got a lot of people listening who are pastors' wives or people in the church that serve and that sort of thing. And it is hard for a lot of them to feel like other people can see them as real people.
Right.
And that there's somebody they can really lean into and really share the hard things and all of that. And I know that our stories are a little bit different because you're not actually in each of our churches. But let's even go back to when you met Jessica. You knew she was a pastor's wife, right? You knew the experiences you were having at home and the different struggles you were having with people, even in the church. So was it hard for you to, at first, to be your true self, even with her? Because I think by the time you got to me and Jenna, maybe you were opening up a little bit more, but especially with her, how long did it take you to realize, like, I don't know, I don't think she's judging me. Like, I think she actually sees me and I can be my real self with her. And was that hard for you?
Yeah. Okay. So Jessica she is so unique, I think. So first,
Amen.
That's so true.
In great ways. Great ways.
yes. Oh, for sure. But first, when I met her, I think I was just more intimidated, not by her, but she's like, hey, I'm leading these missions in Africa and all that. And I was like, well, I've thought about going to Africa. You know, I just didn't feel.
I dreamed about it once.
Right. Literally. So I didn't feel like, I felt like, oh, she's super awesome. And I am like, you know, I'm just not up to her level kind of thing. But she never intimidated me. She never made me feel like I could be less than, or like, oh, you don't do missions like me, or, oh, you know, she just was real. She's very honest, very real. And I would say pretty quickly felt very comfortable around her. I think the struggle for me with these friendships came with, it's such a funny thing that I think God has done, such a sweet thing. But after such hurt from a pastor in my life, it wasn't as much them I was nervous about. It was their husbands. I was like, I'm good on pastors for now. I don't want a lot of that in my life. And wouldn't God just send pastors' wives tell all into my life to be my best friends? And I was like, you know, I just don't know if I don't know if I can go there again with church people and be that close to church people, like church leadership. But I think God did it to heal me and to remind me that there are godly Christian men and women leading churches and loving congregations and shepherding well. So it's funny that God did it that way. He's like, oh, are you scared of pastors? Here's 3.
Here's 3.
I was like, oh, okay. So it did take especially time to trust fully their families and things. Cause it was like, well, Jonathan did help walk me through a lot of it. So I knew he knew what was going on and I knew he was safe. But with the other 2, it's sort of like, I don't know, what kind of pastor are you? Are you humble? Are you kind? Are you gentle? Or are you just looking for something to attack? But getting to know all of their husbands, it's like they're the real deal. Their whole families, all of it. They're just real. They're real people. They're really loving the Lord and serving Him well. They're really protecting the least of these. It's genuine.
That's really sweet that you would say that, because I think that a lot of us think our husbands are crazy sometimes, you know, because they can be.
Yeah, we love them, but
We do. We love them. Anyway, okay. So, Katherine, so there are people probably listening to this and thinking to themselves, okay, well, I'm happy for y'all, but how do I find this? Or like, you don't understand. There's nobody out there for me. There's no good friendships for me. Have you always had strong friendships in the past, or have you come from some lonely moments in your life? And I know you talked a little bit about that, but kind of go into a little bit more detail, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think at the time I thought they were really good friendships. We hung out a lot. Our kids hung out. You know, there was time spent together, but I didn't know what it was missing. I think if I tried to go deeper, share something like that wasn't as easy to talk about or something, it wasn't handled as well. It was just sort of like, oh, hate that, be praying for you. Anyways, what are we going to do for Halloween? Just whatever the next thing was. And so I think making sure that it's someone safe that you're able to be vulnerable and real and yourself with. And even almost like when people talk about dating, like not compromising, of course it's fine to have acquaintances of all kinds, but when you're ready to have that deep friendship, that person you call at the darkest moment and that kind of thing, just making sure that they are reflecting Jesus to you and safe like that so that you can be fully you. Because missing that, I think in those friendships where you do hang out, you spend time and you're like, man, I have all these friendships. Why do I feel lonely? I think that's part of it. Because I think when we can't share our truest selves with anyone, it's a very lonely place to be.
Yeah, that's so true.
So before we ask you the 3 rapid fire questions, which they don't have to be rapid fire because I feel like you've got some good, wisdom. So you take your time, But I think one of the coolest things also that I don't think we talked about. So those of you listening might go, I've tried group friendships before. But I always feel like I'm the one left out or someone's closer to the other. And it becomes a jealousy thing or comparing thing. I think we should probably talk about that a little bit, just all 4 of us, because we've said on podcasts before, as girls, we can definitely bring a lot of high school drama into friendships. I mean, we've had women talk to us and go, I'm still living in teenage world and in a church or in my friendships. So it's still happening, even though we're grown adults. Yeah. So I think that people are probably going to go, how does that work for y'all? So I was just kind of seeing if we could flesh that out a little bit. I don't know really how to make it happen, but
yeah, I have some thoughts on that. I think for me, I mean, just like when I was talking about how I met Jessica and I thought, oh gosh, she runs all these missions and I'm not that good of a Christian, that good of a person and that on top of things. But I think God has taken me through a journey since then on just being secure in who I am and in the journey that he has me on and in my story, because there are moments where the enemy has tried to let it slip in. Like, look at what all your friends do and you're struggling to make it day to day and do everything you do for your kids. And that's it. You're not doing these things all around the world and ministering to people all over the nation. And so the enemy has tried real hard for that sometimes, but at the same time, God just steps in really quickly for me and just is like, that's their story. And like, yes, cheer them on. And you have a beautiful story as well. You're not necessarily in the same place. Sometimes people are on the mountaintop when you're in the valley, but that doesn't mean that there won't be mountaintops in your life. And you can be secure in exactly where God has you to be and trust that his plan is good for you too. And then that way you're freed up. You're not comparing. You're not worried about like, well, if they're doing that, then I need to make sure I'm doing this. It's just, you're freed up. Like this is right where I am on my journey and it's okay.
Yeah.
And this is where they are and cheer them on. And if they start to go through a valley, then I can be there for them. And it's just all about, I think, knowing exactly who God has made you to be and trusting his story.
Yeah. Good.
I'll just piggyback off of that.
Go ahead, Piggy.
Oink, oink.
I wasn't calling you a piggy, by the way.
It's fine. I was going with it. I said oink, oink. A little one.
Yeah.
I just a baby. That's a baby piggy.
They're super cute.
Yeah.
I want a baby pig.
So cute.
Sorry, that was the side note. You're welcome.
They are. Anyway, so back to the conversation. I love that with our friendships. Yeah, I am close as a unit with all of you, but I feel like each of us have our own friendships outside of that too.
Yeah.
And nobody gets weird about it.
Amen.
Praise the
Like
Lord.
Jessica and Katherine might have a movie day. And I'm like, oh yeah, what'd y'all watch or whatever. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're together without me, I mean, like, or I might go for a walk with Jenna or Kat, all of us have our individual like friendships and we're okay with that.
Yes.
In fact, I think it's good. I think that each of us, as we get closer together, we become closer as a unit.
Absolutely.
And so I think knowing that and being okay with that and cheering each other on and saying like, hey, if, I might go to Jenna for something because she might be the one for that particular topic, or it might be Katherine, or it might be Jessica. They're all different. And so they're all going to bring different perspectives.
Yeah.
I think there's beauty in that. And if you can learn to step into who you are and be okay with the friendship that you have with each person and treasure that, I think it grows completely as a unit. You just get closer.
There's no
Yeah.
walls put
Right.
up. Yeah. And no jealousy. Yeah, I agree.
Which is so refreshing
Mm-hmm.
because that is not, it's not normal.
Yeah.
I think that it is so special what we have. I
Yeah.
really do.
Well, and I think that's something that everyone can have. Like,
100%.
I think that it starts with you because I think at any time, like Katherine said, we can all have moments where we have to die to something
Yeah.
that maybe the enemy is bringing up or our insecurities are bringing up that we have to, like, nail
Yeah.
back down and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I think LaWanda said it great a couple of weeks ago about offense
Mm-hmm.
of going like, man, if Jenna and Stephanie, go on a walk,
Mm-hmm.
well, do I think that they don't love me and that's why they didn't want me to go on the walk? Or are they just going because they're close together, like by housewives, and they've talked about exercising and holding each other accountable? So that's why they went for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that they don't love me and so they didn't
Right.
invite me. I know both of their hearts and know that they love me. So I have to be confident in that
Right.
Right.
and continue. And when Katherine and I have movie days, it's because we both like cheesy Hallmark movies and love stories. And Stephanie, like she said, she knows that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we have movie nights, all four of us, and sometimes we don't. And so Stephanie has to go, oh, I know that they're hanging out and doing that because they have this connection.
Commonality, yeah.
Commonality. It's not because you're not a part of it,
Right.
because you could totally come, but it's because I know this about them. And so I know they love
Yeah.
me. I know they love each other. And so everything's okay and you let it go.
Right.
And so I think it's truly until you kind of work on yourself and the insecurities and identity and all of that, then you will bring that into
Right.
your relationships with your husband, your wife, and your friends.
I think I still have to work on that.
Right.
Because if I feel
yeah.
it coming up,
yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
like, wait a
for sure.
second.
Mm-hmm.
I know the truth and this is the truth.
Yes.
Right.
And so not allowing that. So don't let anybody listening think that we think we're perfect and we've got it all figured out.
No,
No,
we
no,
still
no.
have to die to that. I
Yeah,
think,
for sure.
Weekly with things. Okay, Katherine, are you ready?
So maybe ready.
So maybe.
I'll
right?
take that baby and I'll run with it.
Okay, cool.
Baby.
Just a baby.
Okay.
Anyway.
So if you could go back and give your younger self a piece of friendship advice, what would it be? The needles.
Okay, yes.
would hurt.
Well,
Would.
I am a recovering codependent and people pleaser. And so I spent a lot of years just being in friendships that maybe I catered to a lot and I did all the things, but wasn't, given a lot of actual friendship in return. And so I think it would be to not settle into things like people pleasing and just giving yourself away to somebody that's not investing the same in return. And also just checking yourself constantly. Like, am I getting to be my full self right now? Or am I holding back? Cause I know if I say this or do that, I'll get looks and I'll get judged and I'll get, that kind of thing. But just, am I able to just let loose and be me? Am I constantly having to think about myself because I know that there's consequences to certain things, or am I just getting to just be me? And then at the end of the night, I'm like, hey, that was really fun. I didn't overthink anything. I wasn't worried what people were thinking of me because this is a safe space.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh, so good. Okay, let's do a fun one.
Okay.
What's your favorite thing to do for fun with us?
That's so hard because literally anything is fun with y'all.
Yeah.
Anything. Favorite thing. That's a toughie.
I know, right?
Thank you, Steve Irwin from the grave.
Oh dear.
I have one, but it ain't my
Oh dear,
question.
that's my favorite. Oh
Okay,
dear.
what is it? Maybe it'll give me some specific idea.
I like camping with y'all a whole lot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I never thought I'd ever say that I liked camping. So,
That's a shocker.
that's just mine.
It is. That was fun.
I love camping with y'all. It's so fun.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I mean, I really think camping and the trips, anything like that is so fun because another unique God-given thing to us, I think, just blessing, is that all of our kids, amongst the four of us, all of our kids have at least one best friend
Yeah.
in that group. And so getting to see the kids live their best lives and
that also gives us a chance to like hang out as adults without
live our
feeling
best
like we're
life.
being
Yes,
pulled
yes.
in so many directions too.
I mean, you can't
to keep
hunt,
each other busy.
yeah, you can't hunt gators if your kids are right there.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I
that's
know.
not safe.
Can't get any gators.
Who would do that?
And I would say too, just talking about kids, I would say that that's been a unique thing about this friendship as well, is that all of these women here, just like they see my heart and they get me, they see my kids the same way. They get them. You know, we help each other kind of figure out, hey, what could maybe their Enneagram be and that kind of thing. And so it's not like, okay, yeah, let the kids play so adults can hang out and like the kids are just this side thing. It's such a part of the friendships and a part of our relationships together. And so that way, if there is any kind of, you know, if I'm like, hey, I'm really struggling with this kid, they're going through a lot, you know, knowing them how you know them, how would you speak into that? And to have that layer of the friendship as well has been huge for me.
That's special.
I think it's also really cool that like we all have a kid from not our kids, but one of y'all's kids that is like you. Like we all have,
Yes.
and so we're all like,
I have a mini Jessica.
I got a little Jenna.
yes, I have also a little Jenna in a different way. So yes, so it's just it's cool to kind of go, hey, like let's ask her some of these questions. How would I handle that? What do I need to do? You know, so I think like also like parenting advice and learning from each other and like all of that is I think is super special as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. This is your last and final question.
I know
Okay.
you're so sad to be off of this podcast.
Because you were so afraid.
I was.
She did
did
so good
amazing.
though. Come on.
You just edit this real well, Jenna, okay?
Okay. Okay, KitKat. So what would you say to someone who is in a season of loneliness right now?
Okay, this is not rapid fire for me. This is a big one for me. So one, just that I understand the struggle there. When you think of loneliness, you think, man, I wish I had someone to share in this with. Man, I wish, you know, I could go to a movie with somebody, just even simple things like that. But I think the deeper layers to loneliness are also what's really hard. Because in those moments of loneliness, you are asking yourself a lot of questions. You know, what have I done to push people away? What have I done to bring myself to this place? And sometimes there is some good self-reflection and sitting with Jesus on that and going, hey, is there something that I need to be working on? But then also I think loneliness typically comes with a lot of probably hurt from other people, a lot of being misunderstood, betrayed, left alone, left out, and those kinds of things. And that's just, it's more than just, man, I wish I had a friend to go grab lunch with. Yeah. There's a lot of deep hurt there that can happen. And I would just encourage you to sit with the Lord in that and let him tell you who you are in him. And before you have that affirmation from people of like, you're fun, or we like talking to you, or anything like that, is just sitting with the Lord and knowing that that's who you are, knowing that the King of Kings wants to sit with you, and that is the greatest affirmation that you need. It doesn't have to come from people as well. But at the same time, I think God understands that longing of our hearts. I mean, I think of Jesus's friendships on this earth and how deep and true those were, but also how people failed him. And so really, I think studying the life of Jesus and how he handled all of that and how he handled the disciples and all of that was helpful to me after going through a lot of hurt from friends, because I think I had to sit with the Lord and go, where are you in all of this? Who am I in all of this? Like, it was just a time where I was so broken down that I was like, I've got to know what you're saying and what you want to pour into my life right now. And I think that came really first before flourishing friendships did, was just a deep, abiding time with Jesus to know who I am, so that I could go into a friendship fully me and fully free. So I think loneliness can just push us towards Jesus if we let it. And it can be so hard. And I don't take that lightly. I have been there.
I think you can also still struggle with it. Like you can still struggle with loneliness, and you can have a week where you kind of can go into a hole Any of us can.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also know that if that happens, like remember what God did to bring you out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, each time, maybe it's a little bit shorter of a time,
Yeah.
you know, depending on what's going on in your life. Sometimes it takes longer. But also, when you talk about loneliness, I think to have friendships that will meet you in that loneliness
Yeah.
and not expect you to come out of it, I think is huge. So, because I know, like for me, like in my 20s, and even now I struggle because I want to fix things because I see the good in people and I want them to be their best self. But like, the Lord showed me over the years just to sit and listen, to rest in whatever the emotion is that someone's going through, because a lot of times that loneliness is not going to just go away.
Right.
It's a spiritual thing. It's a mental thing. And so don't be so quick, even though you hurt to see someone in loneliness or sadness or being angry or whatever the emotion is, but also going like, it's not my job to fix them, but to come along and sit and rest with them with whatever emotion they're in. And not forever, there is time to start kicking your friend in the booty if it's going too long, but to truly rest in that with them, I think is something also that's good to add with that.
Yeah. And I would say when I started becoming friends with him and moving over here and all of that, I was not the giggly, happy, free self that I am now. I was very low. Literally, it was just, I've got to get through this day. That was what I had to offer them, which was nothing. And so that's also helped me know that these friendships are real because they keep caring. And they'll text me a million times and I don't text back because I just can't get the executive function to do it.
At her door and we go to check in her in the bedroom.
Yes, exactly.
Hello, are you alive in there?
Are you alive?
Are you breathing? Do you need some Reese's? What do you need?
Some gluten-free Oreos.
Yes, always yes. But so I had nothing to offer really at that time. And so for them to just meet me however that looked, it taught me so much about Jesus and life and friendship and all those things that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
We love you, KitKat.
They're the best. I love them so much.
Oh, it's a group hug time. Group hug.
I just went in somebody's armpit. Is that Katherine? Sorry.
Was it? Oh,
Or maybe Stephanie's.
I don't know. I feel like my armpit's the closest, so maybe. I think it was the hand, though.
It was fine.
It's all good.
Anyway, Stephanie,
I don't want to
Need
smell
some
my
more
hand.
deodorant. You're welcome.
Well, we love you guys, and we hope that this friendship month has been like fruitful, and blessing. And leave comments. Let us know if you have questions or things. We're here for you. Like, we don't know it all, but we know a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
It's just a baby.
It's just a baby a little bit. It's still something.
Okay, well, until next time.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Okay, friends, if you have enjoyed this episode as much as we have, please help us spread the word on Facebook and Instagram.
If you didn't know yet, Instagram is where all the fun is at. From dance reels on Wednesdays to spiritual encouragement and laugh out loud posts in between, there is something for everyone.
And last but certainly not least, if you could take a moment right now to stop what you're doing and give us a rating and review, even subscribe to our podcast, this seriously helps other people find us who wouldn't be able to otherwise. Thank you so much for your love and support. We hope you'll tune in next week.